The vast expanse of the American West stretched before me, an endless tapestry of sagebrush and sun-baked earth. I was barely a week old, my legs still unsteady, my coat a soft, downy brown. The world was a kaleidoscope of new sights and sounds, each one a thrilling adventure. My mother, a strong and graceful mare named Willow, was my constant guide, her presence a comforting warmth against the unpredictable wilderness. We were a part of a small herd, led by a wise, battle-scarred stallion named Boone. Our days were spent grazing in the meadows, drinking from the crystal-clear streams, and learning the ancient rhythms of survival. But one fateful afternoon, everything changed. Willow ventured out in search of water, leaving me nestled in a patch of tall grass, promising to return soon. As the sun dipped below the horizon, painting the sky in hues of orange and purple, an unsettling silence fell over the plains. The familiar sounds of the herd faded into the distance, replaced by an eerie stillness that prickled my skin. Loneliness, a chilling sensation, crept into my heart. I missed the comforting touch of my mother, the gentle nuzzles, the soft lullabies she hummed. Suddenly, a twig snapped nearby, jolting me from my reverie. My ears perked up and my heart pounded in my chest. A pair of piercing yellow eyes emerged from the shadows of the trees, followed by another and another. Wolves, their sleek, muscular bodies moved with a chilling grace, their eyes locked onto me with predatory hunger. I was trapped, alone, and utterly defenseless. Panic surged through my veins and I tried to run, but my wobbly legs betrayed me, sending me tumbling to the ground. The wolves closed in, their guttural growls echoing through the valley, each step bringing them closer to their helpless prey. Fear consumed me. I squeezed my eyes shut, bracing for the inevitable. This was it, the end of my short, innocent life. But then, a deafening roar shattered the silence. It wasn't the roar of a predator, nor the call of a fellow Mustang. It was something else, something primal and earth-shattering. I opened my eyes, and my breath caught in my throat. A figure emerged from the crest of a nearby ridge, silhouetted against the dying light. It was a stallion, but unlike any I had ever seen. He was massive, his muscles rippling beneath a coat as black as midnight. His mane and tail flowed like dark storm clouds, and his eyes blazed with an untamed fire. He was a vision of raw power and unbridled fury. Without hesitation, he charged down the hill, his hooves pounding against the earth like thunder. The wolves, startled by the sudden appearance of this formidable warrior, hesitated for a moment, their predatory instincts clashing with a primal fear. But the stallion gave them no time to react. He crashed into their ranks with the force of a battering ram, his hooves striking with deadly accuracy. One wolf, caught off guard, was sent flying through the air, yelping in pain. The others, realizing they were outmatched, scattered and fled, disappearing into the shadows from whence they came. Silence descended upon the valley once more, broken only by the stallion's heavy breathing and the frantic thumping of my heart. He stood over me, his massive frame casting a long, protective shadow. I was afraid, yet strangely mesmerized by his presence. He was a stranger, a wild and untamed creature, yet he had saved my life. He lowered his head, his warm breath washing over me. I flinched, expecting a swift, fatal blow, but instead, he nudged me gently with his muzzle, a silent gesture of reassurance. Then, he did something truly extraordinary. He didn't leave, didn't return to his own herd. He stayed, standing guard over me throughout the long, cold night. I couldn't understand why. Stallions didn't typically care for orphaned foals. It was the mare's role to nurture and protect the young. Yet here he was, this magnificent creature defying the natural order, choosing to protect a helpless stranger. As the first rays of dawn painted the sky, I awoke to find him still there, his watchful gaze fixed on the horizon. Hunger gnawed at my belly, and I let out a soft, questioning whimper. The stallion turned his head, his dark eyes studying me with an intensity that made me shiver. For a long moment, he remained still, as if weighing his options. Then he took a single step closer. A small gesture, but one that filled me with a flicker of hope. Morning arrived, bringing with it a new set of challenges. The stallion was gone. Panic seized me. Had it all been a dream? Had I imagined his heroic rescue? I cried out, my voice a desperate plea for help. Then, a deep snort from behind startled me. He was there, watching me, testing me. Relief washed over me, but it was short-lived. The stallion turned and walked away, leaving me to make a choice. Should I stay and wait for my mother, clinging to the hope that she would return, or should I follow this stranger, this enigmatic protector, into the unknown? Every instinct screamed at me to stay, to remain in the familiar territory, to trust in the bond I shared with my mother. But something else Something deeper compelled me to follow the stallion. He reached the crest of another ridge and paused, glancing back at me with an unspoken challenge. Were you strong enough to follow? Were you worthy of his protection? I hesitated, my legs trembling with exhaustion. But then, with a surge of determination, I took a step forward, then another, and another. The stallion let out an approving snort and continued on his path. I followed him through the rugged terrain, my small hooves sinking into the damp earth. He set a relentless pace, testing my endurance, pushing me to my limits. The sun beat down on my back, and my muscles screamed in protest, but I refused to give up. I had to prove myself worthy of his protection. As we rounded a bend, a chilling premonition washed over me. The stallion stopped abruptly, his body tensing, his ears pricked forward. I knew, instinctively, that we were not alone. The wolves had returned, and this time they were more numerous, more determined. Their eyes gleamed with malevolent hunger as they emerged from the shadows, surrounding us, cutting off our escape. The stallion stood his ground, his powerful frame radiating an aura of defiance. He let out a deafening roar, a challenge to his enemies, a promise of pain. The wolves hesitated for a moment, but their hunger outweighed their fear. They lunged, a snarling mass of teeth and claws. The stallion reared up on his hind legs, his hooves striking with deadly force, sending the predators skidding backward. But there were too many. A wolf darted past the stallion, his jaw snapping at my flank. I cried out in terror, bracing for the inevitable. Then, a chestnut blur slammed into the wolf, sending it tumbling to the ground. It was a mare, her eyes blazing with fierce protectiveness, and behind her an entire herd of Mustangs charged into the clearing, their hooves thundering like an avalanche. My heart soared with hope. The wolves, outnumbered and outmatched, turned and fled, their hunt thwarted once more. The herd surrounded us, their warm bodies shielding us from the lingering threat. Then the chestnut mare approached me, her eyes filled with a familiar warmth. She nuzzled me gently, and I recognized her scent, her touch. It was Willow, my mother. Tears welled up in my eyes as I pressed against her side, my body trembling with relief. She had found me! But my joy was tempered by a lingering unease. The dark stallion stood apart from the herd, his gaze fixed on us, his presence a silent challenge to the established order. Willow turned to face him, her body tense, her eyes filled with a mixture of gratitude and apprehension. She had spent days searching for me, driven by a mother's unwavering love, and now she had found me, not alone, but under the protection of a powerful, enigmatic stranger. The herd's lead stallion, a magnificent bay with a battle-scarred chest, stepped forward, his eyes narrowed, his nostrils flaring. He was the leader, the protector of his herd, and he would not allow an outsider to challenge his authority. He let out a thunderous roar and charged at the dark stallion, initiating a battle for dominance. The two titans collided with earth-shattering force, their hooves pounding, their teeth gnashing, their bodies crashing against each other. The herd scattered, their eyes wide with fear and excitement. Willow shielded me with her body, her heart pounding in sync with my own. The battle raged on, a whirlwind of raw power and primal fury. The dark stallion fought with a ferocity that defied belief, his every move precise, his every strike calculated. The bay stallion, though larger and more experienced, was no match for his opponent's relentless assault. Finally, with a decisive blow, the dark stallion sent the bay stallion crashing to the ground, defeated. The herd watched in stunned silence as the bay stallion lowered his head in surrender and limped away, his reign of dominance over. The dark stallion raised his head high, his eyes scanning the herd, claiming his rightful place as the new leader. A strange mix of emotions surged through me, fear, awe, and a burgeoning sense of respect. This stallion, this magnificent warrior, had saved my life, fought for my survival, and now he was our leader, our protector. Willow hesitated for a moment, then stepped forward, accepting his rule, acknowledging his power. I followed her, my heart pounding, my mind reeling. My life had changed forever. The wild and unpredictable wilderness remained, but now I had a new family, a new protector, a new father. The dark stallion, the unyielding heart, would guide us, protect us, and lead us through whatever challenges lay ahead. I knew deep in my heart that our journey was far from over, but with him by our side, we would face it together with courage, loyalty, and an unyielding spirit.